Okay, here is what is happening in my very basic nutshell conclusion. Excuse me, I still have the cold and hoarse throat from working Fright Farm. Cheers to every pussies and all you wussy guys that I have scared silly out there. I've made myself hoarse in doing so. With the last drop. Rothschild Zionist people, basically the Rothschild family empire and their minions, play off every single little battle, skirmish, debate, what have you, in the entire geopolitical arena. They have done this to the world and the world's population, you and me, since at least as far back as Napoleon versus the British. And if you just look up that battle, and I don't have the British commander's name, escapes my mind right now, but you just pull that battle up, the Battle of Waterloo, and read a little into that and what happened right afterward when the Rothschild Zionist agent who got first word that the army of Napoleon had been defeated at Waterloo, rode back to London, straight into the British Stock Exchange, to give them the grim news, the blatant lie, as they're always doing. This is the rule book. The lie after lie. They'll lie to you when the truth will serve them best. It will still lie to you just to condition you. Your leaders lie, and you love them for doing it. Anyway, the terrible news and the terrible lie that the British had lost. So the London Stock Exchange plummeted. Every person rushed out of the pound. Every Brit in London rushed out of the pound. So the pound fell in value completely, almost to zero, for pennies on the pound, as they say. Then, and only then, did Mayor Rothschild swoop in, like the vulture he is, like a vulture his family is, and buy up the entire British pound, the entire stock of British sterling for pennies on the pound. Now, Mayor Rothschild owns Great Britain. Now, of course, our founding fathers knew that this man was engaged in, mass slaughterings of pitting nation against nation and massive re-education and addiction of the masses of nations upon nations of this opiates and the opium trade, really. And so our founding fathers said, it's not the governments or the leaders, the authorities, the authors of the perverted law that are in charge. No, it is the people. Because they knew that this power that kept giving itself centralized control again and again, a greater stranglehold on every nation that it goes into, a greater stranglehold on their economy, on their labor force, and on the general will of the people. He set up a system that was totally backwards, totally upside down of the normal system that you had that was pervasive throughout all governments of the world at the time. But now we're going into the same slave state that the Founding Fathers escaped from. That reportedly 3% of the population of this nation at the time fought and died and bloodied themselves for. It's no surprise, we're back here again, because World War I happened, the war to end all wars. And what did we get from that? The League of Nations. Well, when the United States, people of this nation, did not buy into the League of Nations, they said, okay, well, we're going to have another war to end all wars, right? I mean, the justifiable end means, right, when the people of this nation does not buy into global centralized control, World War II, and then the UN. And now the UN has successfully completely infiltrated and taken over this government of this nation. And now they're rolling out statewide synchronized checkpoints in Tennessee. This just happened a couple of days ago. And now they've gotten the private central bank that owns this country, that owns the people of this nation, to backstop the derivatives and to come out and publicly say that we are going to put the American taxpayer on the hook. We're going to put all the people of this nation as a backstop on all these filthy, disgusting, credit default swaps and other completely illicit swap deals, which the only thing that happens in a swap is when financial terrorists get together and exploit the piles of money that are taken, that are stolen from taxpayers. And after all these illicit credit swaps, if you will, they'll leverage it out hundreds and hundreds of times per year if they have to. And now Bank of America, at least $94 trillion, and the Federal Reserve coming out in a very disgusting fashion and openly, publicly boasting about putting the American taxpayers as a backstop for Greece's debt, for Italy's debt, for Bank of America's debt, for Goldman Sachs' debt, which even the Washington Journal says $1.5 quadrillion. At least. I mean, we're talking, that was almost 3 years ago now. It's got to be, upwards of $2 quadrillion now, of 2,000 sets of trillions of dollars. And so this is inescapable now that the Federal Reserve has openly, publicly stated that they're going to use the American taxpayer as a backstop. Again, just coming out 2-3 days ago and just boasting about it. So I really hope that Americans wake up and end the Federal Reserve and just triage all these disgusting, bloated derivatives